Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 9:31. Members of the public are invited to participate in this meeting of council by accessing the meeting, which will be live streamed on our Middlesex Centre YouTube channel, or by contacting the municipal clerk to receive a registration link to join the meeting being held electronically. Members of the public may also attend the meeting in person at Coldstream Community Hall, located at 10227 Ilderton Road in Coldstream. The land acknowledgement this morning, start with that. The municipality of Middlesex Centre recognizes that we're gathering on the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, the Lenape peoples. We acknowledge the enduring presence of the First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people on this land, and are committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect. Our neighboring First Nations communities, which continue to live as sovereign nations, include the Chippewas of the Thames, First Nation, Oneida Nation of the Thames, and the Munsee Delaware Nation. Just before we get going, I do have a couple of comments here. First meeting of the new year, so happy new year to everyone here and online. Before we begin, I want to highlight that Middlesex Centre will be hosting a joint online public information center that was picked for the servicing master plan and the transportation master plan tonight. That's Wednesday evening from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. The PIC will provide a high-level overview of the projects and provide an opportunity for the public to provide initial input and questions as the study moves forward. You're going to need a link to access the PIC website. So go to the our Middlesex Centre webpage, and there are two banners at the top, a yellow one and a blue one. The blue ribbon at the top has an events section. You can click on that. When the events page opens, you'll see PIC is one of those options, and you can follow the process there to get registered. So, and also there will be a second PIC coming up later in the spring after more work has been undertaken. So if you can't attend that, or if you're not able to attend but have questions and concerns, staff is able to answer questions, and you're invited to reach out to them and get those answered. So that is what's happening tonight. There are no additions to the agenda. Item 14.5 though, so it has been, yes, being the bylaw approving this service agreement between 1047 582 Ontario Land Limited as the owner and the municipality as a municipality. I'll look to members of council. Are there any disclosures? Just see none. Then we can move on to our delegations, presentations, petitions. Today we have Blackline Consulting joining us, and Graham Pressey will be in attendance on behalf of Blackline to provide an overview of the customer service delivery review. That is 8.2 details. And there he is. Good morning. Happy New Year.
Good morning. Happy New Year. I'll just.
The floor is yours whenever you're ready, Green.
Okay, fantastic. I'll just share my screen, just half a second. Okay, fantastic. You're able to see this?
We can see you and hear you, and the presentation is up as well.
Wonderful. So thank you all very much for having me join. My name is Graham Pressey. Today I'll be taking you through the findings of our recent customer service strategy review that Blackline Consulting performed for the municipality of Middlesex Centre. First, I'll be outlining the current situation and our approach to defining customer service. Second, we'll outline our recommendations and review each of the opportunities for change in a little more detail. Then we'll go over the roadmap for recommendations and briefly discuss the benefits and costs to the municipality. So just a little bit on the scope of customer service first. Most staff activity at a municipality can be defined as dealing with a customer in some sense of the word, but for this project, we're using a more restricted definition. We consider customer service activities to include interactions such as service requests, inquiries, complaints, and compliments, but we are separating this from staff delivering a service that involves an interaction with a resident or a customer. For example, it is a customer service process for a bylaw officer to receive a service request from a resident, but talking to a resident in the course of resolving that service request, we would consider service delivery. We do consider customer service to be a repeatable process that should provide customers across the municipality with a consistent, defined experience. So overall, when we looked at the current situation, our sense was that residents' most preferred service channels are phone and email, which the municipality provides, and which also have the highest volume of customer service requests currently. The municipality also does provide some limited use of web forms and online submissions for service requests and information, of which the online system for building permits is probably the most comprehensive currently. As the municipality continues to grow rapidly, direct customer service channels like phone and in person will place a greater burden on staff time compared to self-service options, including online and email channels. Staff, we found, do very much have a customer service mentality, and residents are broadly quite satisfied overall with the service that they receive from staff. This strong overall satisfaction is driven by positive perceptions of knowledgeable and competent municipal staff. I'll go into a little bit more detail in a little bit when I discuss the findings from the customer service survey we conducted. However, I will note that currently systems and processes in place do limit staff's ability and capacity to analyze service requests by category or to forecast future customer service demands. This makes enhancing the customer service experience a little bit more difficult. The extent of customer service process documentation also does vary between departments. When we were doing the review, some departments had begun to set customer service demands, but few were documented or monitored. And I do want to emphasize again that this is a separate issue to service quality, and that staff were consistently providing strong customer service to residents and to customers. In the summer, we conducted a customer satisfaction survey to get direct feedback from residents regarding their experiences and their perceptions of customer service at the municipality. We received a strong response with 105 residents providing feedback in total. We found that there was very strong overall satisfaction with municipal service, and that this was again driven mostly by residents' perceptions that staff are quite knowledgeable and competent. However, we did find that some priority areas to improve do include improving the quality of information for residents, striving to resolve inquiries and service requests in a single interaction, and making it easier to find who to contact at the municipality. And that improving these things will improve the perception of overall service quality even further. Just other major findings also include that residents do currently have a preference for receiving customer service by phone and email channels, and being able to pay the municipality for service through bank websites, apps, and pre-authorized payments. So one of the things that we also looked at was reviewing the need for a customer relationship management system, or a CRM. Most CRMs, it's important to note, do provide similar functionality as detailed on the icons at the right. However, the municipality does currently have systems that provide at least some of these functions. And as well, it's also working to expand systems and capabilities, including in particular for planning and development and for public works. And it's also working to replace older systems, whether that's the recreation booking software, which I believe was replaced recently. And there's also, we're also aware it's looking at replacing the finance system in the future. So for a CRM, having integration with major systems is very important, so that it's used effectively. Currently at the municipality, most applications are not integrated with each other, and customer service requests, submissions, and inquiries require a lot of manual work by staff to process. Consequently, there is a risk that by adding another system that does have overlapping functionality, that it will result in an underused investment. But this is still something for the municipality to consider in the future as it grows and its service volume and complexity continues to increase. So given the current state, we developed several customer service opportunities for the municipality to consider. I'll go briefly over them here, and then we'll look at each one in slightly more detail. So on the first row, we have establishing a set of service standards and measures that each department will track, revising the CS training program to be periodic, and also to revise customer service materials and procedures. We have developing a regular communications marketing campaign, which will help to deliver targeted messaging to improve residents' awareness of customer services, introducing an online biannual customer satisfaction survey and tracking the results over time. And finally, on the top row, improving the accessibility of zoning information on the county website. On the second row, we feel that as a municipality goes to market to replace its finance system, that it should expand the scope to include software suites, which also contain CRM functionality. Revising the website to enhance its ability to provide a more self-service functionality, and then piloting the use of a resident portal with a segment of municipal customers to further expand, self-service options. And the final two recommendations here are dependent on the direction the municipality chooses to go with regards to acquiring a CRM system. The first is using robotics process automation, or RPA, to automate some workflows for common customer service processes. And the second is to pilot the use of a chat system or a chatbot on the municipality website and promoting its use to divert some of the call and email volume and reduce staff time to what can be done asynchronously or through self-service options. So I'll go through each of these in a little more detail. So for the first, for establishing service standards, we do feel it's very important for the municipality to create clear, defined service standards and expectations, and track and report on those. That'll help align customer service expectations so that they can better know what to expect when they're receiving a service, and also provide a foundation for making changes to the future based on evidence and experience. The second is to enhance the customer service training material, and that could include developing more formal knowledge articles, decision trees, and as well rolling out a more formal customer service training program to ensure that customer service is both more efficient, there's improved customer service levels, and also that it's consistent throughout the municipality as a whole. Both of the opportunities on this page, the customer service awareness campaign and the customer service survey, would be ongoing. So for the first, we're recommending that this is something that's conducted annually, and that each year you'd be determining a particular scope and objectives to developing content, and then you'd be launching the campaign to target awareness for a particular customer service method or process or procedure. The benefit to this would be to improve awareness of customer service, and also to improve to receive a bit of feedback from residents to improve customer service. For the customer service survey, we'd recommend that this is conducted on a more periodic basis, probably biannually or so. This would provide a base of foundation to understand trends and changes to customer service experiences and what customers most desire, and where problem areas and strengths are across the municipality. With updating the county's GIS maps, on the county website, that's where the municipality has some of its zoning information. Some of that information isn't particularly accessible, and building inspectors regularly get questions related to that. So we recommend that the municipality works with the county to regularly update them, direct customers to the newly available information to reduce some of the volume of inquiry coming in. For going to market for a finance system, we recommend for this that you also create a business case for implementing a CRM and including that in the requirements. A joint RFP process would in effect get two birds with one stone, reduce staff effort, and ensure that some of the key integrations are a bit easier to have, and hopefully lead to improved efficiency and customer service levels. We do feel that some changes can be made to the website, in particular to improve self-service options, improve efficiency, and make sure that information is more available for residents on the website, to reduce the need to call in, to send emails, or to have to visit the municipal offices in person. For a resident portal, that again would be an online system that would provide additional self-service options. We recommend piloting this first, and based on the experiences, using that to create a business case for a wider rollout across more services. The goal with a resident portal again would be through self-service options to reduce the volume of inquiries, reduce the need for staff to enter data manually, and to also have a bit more improved collection and analysis of metrics. Finally, again, the last two opportunities here, piloting the use of RPA and piloting the use of a live chat system and chatbots are dependent on the direction that the municipality chooses to go with a CRM. For the first, robotics process automation is best used for well-defined processes that are repeated frequently. So you determine a use case, select a platform, perform a pilot, and based on that, create a business case and roll out the use of RPA to additional processes. This would help to reduce staff time and also complete activities in a consistent approach. The use of a live chat system or chatbots on the website would be similar, where you'd be conducting a pilot system first, and based on your experiences, creating a business case and rolling out the system. The benefits to that are that staff are able to simultaneously manage several interactions. Chatbots and similar systems can operate 24/7 and also provide some additional language coverage, and that again, it'll hopefully be providing additional methods for residents and customers to get information from the municipality. So the roadmap that we've developed is over the next 3 years. We have taken into consideration urgency, dependencies, and the estimated effort. We recommend that the municipality commits resources to the recommendations they feel are most beneficial, develop more detailed implementation plans, and then fund the projects to implement those recommendations which are deemed appropriate. Many of the recommendations we feel are achievable projects that can be implemented quickly, but others, particularly the RPA and the live chat and chatbot systems, will require more effort. And again, I'd also just like to note again that we do have the customer service awareness campaign and the customer service survey, which would be ongoing and repeated indefinitely. Finally, just a little bit on the benefits and cost of the recommendations. Overall, we recommend that implementing these recommendations would, on the whole, improve customer service efficiency across the municipality, therefore reducing operating costs. However, some recommendations, such as beginning to track customer service outcomes and conducting a customer service survey, would require additional staff effort. For implementation of a standalone CRM, we estimate that would have a quite high one-time cost, likely more than $250,000, with annual expenses for about 30 users ranging from $18,000 to $50,000 annually. So that's our report on the customer service review. I'll turn it over back to staff.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. I'm going to look to council now and ask, are there questions, clarifications, comments? I'll go again, Councillor Burrs.
So who is championing this municipality? What department does this fall?
CRM model.
So you're gonna seriously consider implementing this? Take this up and go at it?
Through the chair. So these are recommendations.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Councillor Arts.
Through you, Madam Mayor, to whatever say out there, Michael. There's one chart, page 54, after change. What's the stretch? Yeah.
Take that, Graham. The question is, what does stretch mean in the context of the report?
It says after change.
Sorry, can you repeat that, please? Sorry.
Sorry, there's a chart on the report that I was reading on page 54. It's got effort change and there's base stretch. I just don't understand what stretch means.
Oh yeah, so that was we did estimate a range based on the stretch would be likely the maximum that would be achievable. In terms of taking or reducing staff effort.
So, well, if it's less than not doing anything, and if it's greater than is.
Yes. So for example, for updating the website, we estimated that there could be a range of an efficiency gain, so that the base and the stretch are the maximum and the minimum staff time that would be gained based on the range of our assumptions.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Go ahead, Councillor Shipley.
Through the mayor to Graham or Michael, I guess, is there any other municipalities gone this way and something we could maybe get information from them and how the process works? Just if staff could reach out to them, I'd like a little more information on follow-up, I guess, and how it's working.
Yeah, through the chair and council, that's a good question. Many larger city centers have I think you see one slide. They're quite excessive, but the software costs. So we would certainly take this as a recommendation, do more analysis internally. Exactly. Obviously, what the others see what others and because this is something that what the slower access. So we want to understand how that impacts our existing system. So there's a lot of homework to do. It's not something
Do you have a question, Councillor?
Follow-up. Councillor Shipley. I noticed in that when through Mayor, when Michael mentioned about other municipalities, I do notice that on their site, they do not necessarily have apartments on the, so it's a sort of generic with them, whereas with us, that one page that was in contact us and we've got all the apartments and there's emails which I think to do it like our visitors because they know who's contacted. And also just as a follow-up to what Graham was mentioning, at the very bottom of that page of contact, it does say reported which I did when resident, and I got an email back to say acknowledging it and whatever it was. And the only thing is it's right at the bottom of the but as we'll see before, and it did work.
Anyone else? Okay, I'll start with Councillor. Then I'll take you first.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have a few pretty random things. So to follow up to Councilor Heffernan on the report of concern, I like that used it, I referred people to use it several times. And one time I reported it for somebody and it was only minutes when I had a phone call back from staff on a Saturday. It was a water leak at the Gold Diamond. So a couple of questions for you, Graham, just to understand better. At the very, I think the very last slide that you had, it had some annual costs there, and it kind of left quickly, so I didn't get a good picture of what it was. So I was just wondering about that. But the other thing in my mind, thinking about a 24/7 chat, who's answering that? Who's staying up all night to answer that? And if we're hiring a person for that, why wouldn't you just hire another person to just answer the phone so that you have the phone? If that's what we're looking at, the number of phone calls, we're removing some things from one person sitting at a desk to a person sitting at a different desk to answer somebody that may have to chat.
Yep. So with the first, with the range of cost and effort, that's also on slide 54 of our report, where we do contain the total change for effort and operating costs. So it's there if you'd like to check there. And for the second, with the use of chat systems or chat bot, I mean that's dependent, but the benefit from a chat bot in particular, if it's carefully managed, is that it would be able to operate overnight without additional staff involvement.
Oh, that's it. Thank you.
Wait, Councillor Bruce.
Through you, your worship, to Graham. Is there a model that you talk to us about if you're a municipality, 20,000 people, different sizes of municipality that you should go with this? We're 20,000 people. So how do you, is there a rule of thumb on that or no? Just study us and say, this is it. And these are your options. Can you understand my question?
Yes. So when we were looking at customer service, we did take into account both how the municipality is expected to grow extensively in the future, and we also took our experience at looking at other municipalities and their experiences in providing customer service. But with this, it is very dependent on the specific situations, and that's why we did the customer service survey to look at what residents currently want and need most in terms of customer service.
Okay, just a follow-on question on chat. My opinion on that is anytime I've used chat, the person at the other end has specific knowledge in a certain area, like your cell phone plan. You know what I'm talking about, or your medical insurance in a certain area. So when people come in and complain to us, they could be complaining about anything. I don't know if a chat can cover that other than they provide a generic response. Any comments on that?
Yeah. So again, I think there's a distinguishing between a chat system where you have live operators similarly to the customer service representatives that would be answering a phone call, and they'd have specific training just as they would to take a phone call and be able to respond. With chatbot systems, again, I believe that you're able to configure those to determine whether it's something such as a recycling schedule that can be answered immediately versus something that might need to be sent to a staff member for a more considered response.
Okay, thank you, Graham.
Is there anyone else who'd like to clarify anything at this point? I don't see any hands, so thank you, Graham, for coming on to give us an overview of the report and the presentation. And we do have a motion before us, Council, and that is that report CPS 04-2023 regarding customer service delivery, review, policy, and procedure be received, and that the Middlesex Centre Customer Service Policy and Procedure as developed by municipal staff and Blackline Consulting appended to the report CPS 04-2023 be approved. I'm looking for a mover, please. Councillor Cates, seconder, Councillor Burrs, all in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, thanks again. Have a good year ahead, Graham.
Thank you very much. You too.
Okay, and next up we have Sean Hanlon from Customer Service. He's going to be in attendance to provide us an update regarding the Seniors Community Grant. Here he comes.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Sean. If you're ready, you can go ahead and do your presentation.
You can see me and hear me?
We can. The heater
Okay,
came on, so it's a little bit noisy in here, but I think we're okay, aren't we?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
apologize.
everyone's nodding.
We have some background noise in here today as well. There's a group on the ice and they're playing some 80s rock and roll right now during their warm up. So if there's any background noise, I apologize for that. I am going to share my screen. Just give me a moment.
Okay.
Can you see my screen now?
Sorry. Yes, I can see it. And I like that you've got pickleball right at the top of the list there.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So good morning, everybody. Just here to provide an update on the Seniors Community Grant Program. Just give me one sec here. Sorry about that. So the municipality applied for the Seniors Community Grant through the Government of Ontario. So that's the Ministry of Seniors and Accessibility. And we were approved for $11,225. So quite exciting. That will go to the delivery of a pickleball program. So the funding will cover equipment, advertising, instructor fees, healthy snacks, and drinks for the participants at the program. We did receive a bit of late notice on this program from the province, and they've let us know that we need to incur all our expenses by March 31st, 2023. So we were hoping that we would go a little bit longer with these programs, but unfortunately, we do have to wrap them up by March 31st. So another exciting bit here is that we've partnered with the Tailored Pickleball Academy. So the Tailored Pickleball Academy is run by Cameron Taylor. He is a level 2 certified pickleball coach. He's been coaching pickleball for over 7 years and has 3,000 hours of on the court experience. It's a pretty cool group to be connected with. There's not many of these pickleball academies around yet, so it's definitely beneficial to have them with us with this program. So their mission is just to provide high quality lessons, clinics, boot camps, and club events in a fun, challenging learning environment. So they say, you know, they have a lot of fun during their classes and they play music and there's a lot of laughter. So it's been good so far. So programming details. So we'll be offering 2 skill levels. The first one is for players with no experience or who are just beginning to play pickleball. And then we'll also offer a beginner to advanced for people who have been playing pickleball and are looking to increase their skills in the sport. So the first round of 5-week sessions will begin January 14th. Programs will take place Monday nights and Saturday mornings at the Kamoka Community Center. They're 2 hours in length and they focus on skill development. Max capacity at these programs is 12 participants. You can have 4 participants per court, and we have 3 courts at the Kamoka Community Center. So users can now register using our online public access site. So that's Booking. So they just go online, they create an account, and it's quite similar to an online shopping experience, and they're able to register through that system. So with all pickleball programs right now, interest is very high. As you probably are aware, pickleball is one of the fastest growing sports in North America. So the first round of the 5-week sessions are already fully registered with 12 participants in each. It's actually the fastest registration fill up that we've had for programming so far. Good news though, there is still room left in the second round of 5-week sessions starting February 18th. So if you know anybody who's interested in signing up, they can still sign up for the second round of sessions February 18th. And then starting February 18th, there'll be both skill levels as well, the beginner and then the more intermediate to advanced. The funding will also allow us to purchase pickleball equipment that we can use for future pickleball programming. So we're working with the Tailored Pickleball Academy on this. They've helped us source some equipment. So with the funding, we'll be able to purchase 5 pickleball nets, 85 balls, 8 paddles, and those will be used for our pickleball programs in the years to come. So I just wanted to highlight this program. It's pretty exciting. A great start for pickleball programming in the municipality for programs actually offered by the municipality. So we'll keep looking for opportunities to complement what already exists with the Komoka and Area 55 Plus group, because there still seems to be an appetite for more pickleball. So as long as that appetite's there, we'll look for opportunities to provide more programming. So that's all I have right now. Any questions?
Okay, thank you for that. I'll look to council then. I'll start with Councillor Cates.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor, to Sean. Exciting news. I just have a question. I think it was on your first slide when you talked about the March 31st. Does that mean that all of the so program expenses must be concluded? Okay, so the courses themselves don't have to be concluded. You just have to buy all your stuff before that.
Yes, but unfortunately, the courses would have to conclude because we have the instructor fees that are covered. So we have to submit those instructor fees prior to March 31st, which means we really can't go past March 31st with any instructed pickleball programs. But we, like I said, we will continue to look for opportunities to offer more pickleball programming after this. It may not be with high level instruction from the Pickleball Academy. It might be something a little bit more recreational that we look at. To be honest, to hire the Pickleball Academy, it is $100 per hour. So it's quite expensive because you have to cover their travel cost as well. So for us, without grant funding, it may be difficult to bring back Taylor Pickleball Academy to do a program. So that's where I was saying it would probably be something a little bit more recreational, where we might not have such a high quality instructor, or we look for a volunteer from Komoka and Area 55 Plus group that could potentially run the program.
Right. And just to clarify, so the one course is full, but how many spots are in there? Like how many people is taking round one?
So 12 in each course. So there's 12 in the beginner level and then 12 in the intermediate to advanced level. So 24 in total. We would have liked to have more participants in the program, but unfortunately, Taylor Pickleball Academy can only accommodate 12 people per session. They want all the players on the court moving all the time. So they can only do 12 because we have the 3 courts and four players per court.
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I don't see any more hands, Sean, so I just say thank you for that presentation. It is good news as we commented, and look forward to hearing what feedback maybe you hear after it's all done. Thank you.
Great. Thanks for having me. Take care, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Moving on now to the adoption of the minutes. We have a motion before us that the minutes of the council meeting held on December 14th, 2022 be adopted as printed. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor Heffernan, and seconded by Councillor Shipley. Thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. Okay, on the consent agenda, we have 5 items listed today. Is there anything here anyone wants to pull or comment on before we take action on all of them at once? Yes, go ahead, Councillor Shipley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. 7.4, maybe our Tiffany's on, or maybe Michael can answer the question. Development charges, development charge interest. Says there'll be significant costs to staff time to administer this process. There was already a process in place. I'm just wondering why there's more cost added to this.
So through you, Mayor, do you want me to answer? I heard part of it. It has to do with the development charge interest process.
Yes, Tiffany, just wondering why in financial implications, it says there'll be a significant cost to staff time to administer this process, but we already have a process in place. I'm just wondering why there's significant cost to it.
Yep. So through you, Mayor, that's a great question. So with the change in Bill 23, so that's what's impacted our development charge interest process. So our prior policy for development charge interest was the same rate as the construction price index. So essentially, if we had a site plan or a zoning bylaw amendment, they would be charged the DC rate in the year that the application was submitted. So that could be 2020. However, the interest charged is the same as our construction price index. So the interest added would result in the exact same rate that we are already charging, say in 2023. So very little work would have to be done. With the change in Bill 23, they have, the province has noted that the interest rate that can be charged is prime plus 1. Essentially, it is, it's a little bit more technical. It's based on specific banks rather than the banks that, like all the banks in Canada anyways. So, but essentially prime plus 1. By doing this, this means that if there is a development that happened with the application submitted in 2020, the DC rates that we are charging are based on the 2020 DC rates. Even though they get the development, the permit in 2023, it'll be the 2020 rates with daily interest added up until the day that they pay for the development charge and the building permit. So we're looking at identifying all of these properties now. So anyone that's gone through a site plan or a zoning bylaw amendment, and based on the research that we have, it's about 10 to 12. At this time, then we will need to make sure that those 4 dates are tracked, which is the site plan application, the date it was submitted, the date it was approved, the zoning bylaw amendment, the date it's submitted, the date it's approved. And then from that information, we have to identify, and then we have to talk to those developers. And then we're going to have to determine, okay, so the freeze is only in effect for 2 years from the date of the approval, but the amount charged is based on the date of submission of the application. And so there's those dates that we would also have to track. So if it is applicable, and then we have to determine the date they're going to pay for their building permit, which say is January 15th. So then finance will then have to look at that developer, the 2020 rate, daily interest until January 15th. If they then change the date to January 16th, we have to then update that rate to January 16th. All of that has to be done before it even gets to finance for the reconciliation that I do on a monthly basis for our development charges. And so, and all that information will now have to be documented. So each of those specific permits will be an individual development charge rate rather than the specific rates that we have in place in 2023. And it is our responsibility as a municipality to identify these and make sure that we're charging the proper amounts. So that's and it will be a significant amount of work. So when we are looking at Bill 23 and all of those changes, multiple municipalities have hired additional staff because there's a ton of different avenues. This is just a small part of it, but it will have an impact on planning and development, building department, as well as finance to make sure that the proper rates are being charged. The other part of the DC interest is for installment payments, and that's something that has always been in place. The rate has changed, maybe fortunately, unfortunately, we just haven't had any applications to date. I do anticipate some. We have been in touch with some developers that would be qualifying for the installment payments. Those would be a little bit easier, but what we'd be doing is then doing like a monthly payment plan, which when that happens, it would just be administered by finance. Any questions?
When it rains, it pours. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Thank you for that very thorough answer. Is there any clarification? No, you've got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else want to ask anything about any of these items? Yes, go ahead, Councillor Cates.
Thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. I have two little questions. First of all, on the leasing, I guess to Michael, I'm just wondering, when it says about one member being on the board, will that mean staff, and is that what we do or no?
Through the chair to Councillor Gates. Yeah. Or
Thank you. And then on the municipal election summary, I just wanted to say, well done to James and Steve, and great report. It just shows you the depth of the detail and everything involved. So I just wanted to, well done. Thank you.
Okay, keep your hands here. I don't see any. So the motion before us is that item 7.1 through 7.5 listed under the heading of consent agenda for January 11th, 2023 be adopted as recommended. Could I have a mover, please? And that's the case. All seconding that. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Okay, moving on to staff reports, and Tiffany's already here with us. So would you like to take the final presentation, I think, on the budget for 2023 away?
So thank you, through you, Mayor DeVete. At this point, it's just the 2023 budget. There has been some changes that have occurred since the December 14th presentation to council. Those are all noted within the document. Within the report, as mentioned during the presentation, we did get the final OCIF amount. That funding has now been made public, and it has been noted in the report as well. There has been some changes. One of the other changes to do with Bill 23. So we do now have to allocate a project every year coming from our planning. So our cash in lieu of parkland. So that's part of that Planning Act changes in Bill 23. So we've collected cash in lieu of parkland for many, many years. It's a small balance. I do a treasurer's statement. You usually see this around the first quarter or the second quarter in the following year. And it outlines what the balance is at the end of the year. We have a little over $250,000 around that area. So 60% now has to be allocated each year to a project. With this change, we have made that change in the budget. We took a project that was allocated from buildings and facilities to become allocated from the parkland, which is cash in lieu of parkland. So you'll see that change to make sure that we are compliant. And then there are a few other changes. There's some work done at the Ilderton Arena where there was a project that was brought forward from 2024 into 2023. And we finally had the final BMA study. So all that information is included. We did not change the rate. So that 2.5% tax rate increase, which was presented in December, has not changed. The bylaws, the booklet are all attached to this presentation. There may be some small changes in the booklet when we post it tomorrow, and that's more accessibility or wording changes as we post it. Any questions?
Okay, thank you. I'm looking for any questions. I think you've kind of identified everything that's to be highlighted here. I don't see any hands, so thank you again for all the work that's been done on this. The report is digestible and kind of thing you can keep on your desk and look at and know that you can find what you need. So again, excellent work to you and your team. Thanks so much. And I'll look now for a mover and seconder to the motion that council approve bylaw 2023 number 002 to adopt the current budgetary estimates for the year 2023, and that council approve bylaw 2023-003 to establish a levy for the year 2023, to adopt tax rates for the 2023 year, and to provide for penalty and interest in default payment and the collection thereof. I see Councillor Art's hand, mover, and the seconder, please. Thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. Okay. We looked at 8.2 when we had the presentation, so we can now move to 8.3. This is the year-end report from our fire chief, Colin Todd. I'm just going to here momentarily. There it is.
Good morning, Council, through you, Mayor. Before you is Middlesex Centre Fire Services 2022 annual report. This report includes quite a bit of information, ranges from response statistics, fire prevention activities and information, general department overview of projects and emergency management, et cetera, et cetera. Seeing this is quite a lengthy report, and with respect to time, I won't get into it and reiterate its contents, but I am more than happy to take any questions that council may have.
Thank you. I will look to council. I'm sure we'll have some. Okay, I'll start with you, Deputy Mayor. I see your name, Councillor Burrs.
Not so much questions. It's a very thorough report. I appreciate that. And with our numbers increasing for responses for the fire stations, I know it's going to cause budget increases and keep staffing, to try to keep staffing levels where they are is going to be a challenge also. But I do thank you for the report. It's very timely and very extensive, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Appreciate that.
Okay, and I have Councillor Burris and then Councillor Huffman.
Sure. Just a quick one, caller. We look at the Delaware Station activity. So I don't notice it when I'm in town, but I guess they're out there and most of it looks to be motor vehicle collisions. So where everybody thinks you're hanging out on the 402, you're not. But where are these motor vehicle collisions? Like what's your worst areas?
Through you, Mayor, to Councillor Burrs, that is a good question, and geographically, they are generally on Glendon Drive. Little Woods has quite a bit. There are some south, but I would say generally it's in the outside and surrounding the settlement and the urban areas.
Okay, so just to follow on, during the election campaign, both some of your firefighters and the general population cite Littlewood carriage as a real concern. You would agree with that. Now, carriage is a county road, or is it ours? You know?
I would
pass on. All right. So one of the big things is, I don't know why there's so many accidents there, but there are. If it's a county road, then you're going to argue maybe for a four-way stop. It's a two-way now. Anyway, I'll just leave that. There's no answer to it now, but it's one of the things that I'll pick up and look at it because I keep getting checks from residents, another accident, okay, let's leave it there.
Yeah,
So
it is a. Oh, sorry, Mayor. Just a quick comment
go
on that,
ahead.
Councillor Burrs. Yeah, it has been discussed, and it is continuing concern that we've raised, and it will be continued on the agenda. And at some point, we're hoping to get some satisfaction there. But as you mentioned, there are a lot of hands in the pot there, so it won't slip off the radar. I can promise you that.
All right, thank you.
Go ahead, Councillor.
Through the mayor, actually, this is just for echoing Deputy Mayor Brennan's comment that it was a very thorough report. Thank you, Colin. And also in follow up to Councillor Burris's remark, that was what I was going to suggest with 139 vehicle collisions. I think that counted in total. Maybe a joint committee between Public Works, Fire Department, and the county might assist in that, but again, that's for future follow-up. But that is a lot of motor vehicle collisions, and most of them, I'm sure, avoided. It's just, well, I don't know what it is, carelessness, whatever. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the compliment, Councillor Heffernan. I appreciate that.
Other question? Yes,
Yeah,
Councillor Burris.
Colin, you can leave, but if you look out at Church and Littlewood or Carriage and Littlewood, a lot of people use that corner because they're going to the First Nations gas plant. Okay? There's a ton of traffic. If Carriage is a county road, which I don't know if it is, you're running into the county and constantly saying, no, this has been an issue for years now. I don't know what the answer is. I know the county wants to keep traffic going. These are just comments, but there comes a time when you look, what is it, south on Carriage. So there's Littlewood and Carriage. You go south, like you're pretty much going into the town, into the country there. I don't see an issue with getting a four-way stop there. But those are just comments. I'll leave it.
Anything else on the fire report? I don't see any other questions, Colin. Thank you. As was mentioned, a very thorough presentation and lots of good stuff to understand in there. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Now, there are no notices of motion today. Oh, sorry, I didn't receive that report. The motion before us is the report FS 01-2023 regarding Middlesex Centre Fire Services 2022 year-end report be received for information. Mover, please. Councillor Cates and Councillor Heffernan. All in favor? Thank you. That is carried. There are no notices of motion. We have a number of correspondence items. Does anyone want to comment or bring one up for review? Comment? Nothing. Okay, we have a motion before us. The Council for the Municipality of Middlesex Centre receives the correspondence items 10.1, 10.6 as information. This is moved by Councillor Heffernan and seconded by Councillor Arts. Thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. We don't have that today. I mean, there. Yeah, we'll do that after next week. Okay. We need now a motion to go into closed session, and that is that Council for the Municipality of Middlesex Centre adjourn to closed session 10:26 pursuant to section 239, section 2 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended to discuss the following matters. Section 239 2B, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. Can you move it, please? Mayor Brennan and Councillor Cates. All in favor? Okay, and we have to wait for our live streaming to stop.